All right. Hello and welcome to September 14th, 2017. I'm Ross Silver, Chief Executive Officer of Silva International. You can see behind me, I've got our new Silva Tower of Power. I was informed that when I make these video interviews, they're actually called vlogs. And so I figured I should go a little bit more official versus having these pictures of my kids and the drawings that my kids make for me in my background. I probably should have a Silva background or a backdrop. I'm going to get another one too, so I'll make it even more professional looking. And also I'll be able to take this on the road, so you won't be able to know whether I'm filming in my office or not. So we could play Where in the World is Ross Silver. Anyways, some thoughts on the markets as we are entering the last day of the week here on today, Thursday. We've got Friday tomorrow. Bitcoin has fallen off a cliff. For those of you that are interested in Bitcoin, I mean, I think Bitcoin is just a money laundering circus. I mean, I can't believe it's even remotely legal. And you start to see some of these large bank CEOs, just like Jamie Dimon from Chase, who's come out and just said this thing is bound for failure. I agree too. Greg, on the other hand, believes that, you know, if you're in a third world country, it's a way for you to avoid middlemen and be able to utilize a currency, and you don't have to deal so much with inflation or a number of different points. I, on the other hand, still think this is just pure and simple money laundering 101. But Bitcoin's been a big story that's been in the headlines. Gold prices, another thing that's been something that people have been watching, and also gasoline. If you look at oil, inventory levels are just substantial, which is quite surprising considering, you know, we did enter the Labor Day weekend, and usually you see a depletion of resources during those, you know, during a holiday weekend, but that's not been the case. For those in Florida, still many people without power and without power, water, you know, all the basic functions. A family friend of ours lives in the Keys, and he's been evacuated from his home. His home was completely decimated. You know, my thoughts and prayers are with you, Ron. And I know a number of other people in South Florida have been affected by this vicious storm. And, you know, again, thoughts and prayers are with you. So there's been some names that I've been focusing on as of late, particularly in the biotech space. And the reason why is Kite Pharmaceuticals, which is a cell therapeutic company, just was purchased by Gilead for $12 billion. And so a lot of the biotech names that we have that we are invested in and focus on stand to benefit from that acquisition that Gilead made. I'd look at Biotime, ticker BTX. I'd look at Asteria, ticker AST. We've seen, you know, Chromadex, which is one it's more of a nutraceutical, but it's a lot of these smaller biotech companies have been buoyed by what's happened with this Kite acquisition, which was a $12 billion acquisition. Sologenics. So a number of people, or a number of companies that have novel therapies, are now getting a very serious look, because Kite had no approved therapy. They were still in the clinic and were acquired for such a staggering amount. So now I think you're starting to see pharma say, listen, we're willing to take a shot with some of these cell therapies, you know, such as CAR-T and some others, and, you know, essentially roll the dice, but and willing to pay a pretty significant premium, which is fantastic for us in, you know, small and micro cap, because now you start to see some action in some of these names, and you know, it's obviously very exciting to see. As far as tech's been somewhat stagnant. I haven't seen really a lot of movement from some of the tech names in the small cap space. You know, a name, and Pixon is a name that we follow. Definitely think that company is tremendously undervalued. Obviously, people have been, you know, a seller of the stock here with the performance being what it is in 2017. But the company just has a considerable amount of backlog and a number of orders they're trying to fulfill. And so the capital that they've been able to raise has been used for operating purposes, which is exactly what you want to see. At some point, they're going to cross over into cash flow neutral and cash flow positive. And I think that could be a time when it gets really fun for Pixon. And so, oh, and another name to mention, which has just been a complete standout, has been Atossa. ATOS. The stock has almost doubled this week on substantial volume. They just reported some phase 1 data today that was very compelling. So that's been a name that's been on the move. Like I said, it's almost doubled just in the last 5 trading sessions. Definitely very high on the management team as well as their clinical pipeline. So that's it for this week. Look forward to touching base next week. I hope you enjoy the new Silver Tower Power, as well as, of course, the pictures that my kids draw for me. So thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next week.